Hey there, happy gardeners. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. Thank you so much for following, by the way. I really appreciate it. And today, what we're going to talk about is pruning climbing roses. That's going to be my focus because look, this beautiful rose needs pruning. Now, as you can see, she's even still blooming. She's even got all of her foliage on. This is one of David Austin's masterpieces. Claire Austin is what it's called. Absolutely love this rose, but she really needs some pruning to make her do what I want her to do. And I'm going to share all the reasons why you need to prune roses in just a moment. But I'm going to go gather my tools and dive right in and get started on this one. Follow along. So why prune roses? Every rose bush really appreciates being pruned. There's a number of really good reasons to do this. Of course, if you don't, it's going to live, it's going to be fine, but it's not going to be giving you the most blooms. It's not going to be living up to its best ornamental potential. So the reasons you prune are this. You do it for the health of the rose. You do it for the vigor of the rose. You do it so the blooms all stay nice and big. If you just forget to prune your rose bush for years on end, the blooms get a little smaller. So much energy is put into increasing green growth. Trust me, it's a really good idea to prune your roses, but don't beat yourself up if you don't get to all of them. I think I've shared before that I've way too many roses on my property. Almost every year somebody gets forgotten about. I do remember it the following year, so you know, they all catch up eventually. But I've noticed anybody I forget about just does not perform as well as the ones that I do stay on top of. So apart from health and beauty and aesthetics and training your climbing rose the direction you want it to go, spending time and pruning your rose, whatever kind of rose it is, really gets you to focus on your rose bush and really pay attention to whether it's struggling for any reason, whether there's bugs on it, whether you spot a fungus, God forbid, or any other problems that might be happening. You spending time on pruning lets you really focus. So what tools are you going to need? What I've assembled right here, I have some fabulous Felcos, absolutely love them. A big old lopper in case any of the branches are too big for my Felcos, which is really not that usual. Felcos can handle a lot, but you know, if you've grown roses for a while and you've got some old roses, you know some of those big canes can be kind of gnarly. Definitely going to need a very tough loppers. I also have a little snips that I love for some of the more finer little bits and pieces, and gloves. Now, rose gloves are great that go all the way up to your elbow, but I've got a jacket that is covering the elbow situation today, and I do like really being able to feel what I'm doing. So I've got some tough gloves from West County, which I really like, that have leather on the front that's going to protect me from rose thorns. And you know, these are going to work. And then this is kind of handy. It stops debris falling down into my hands. So I am totally ready also with a big bucket for all the debris, because it's a really great idea to remove the debris from away around the base of the rose. Helps with controlling disease, keeps it tidy. It's a good idea. Keeps it in the one spot. All right, let's get started. Okay, I'm focusing on climbers today. So when you're just starting out and you're presented with all of this, you want to stand back and really look at it. What do I want from this rose? What do you want from the climbing rose in your garden? And what I want is for her to fan out and really cover this fence as much as I can next year when it starts blooming. So that's how I approach the pruning. That's what I'm going to start with. And I'm just going to jump right in. It is paining me to cut this bloom off though, so I'll do that first and just get it over with. Claire Austin is normally a white rose in the warmer part of the year, but cool weather brings out a beautiful pink tone. Absolutely love it. What's super cool is the fragrance is still here, so I'm going to enjoy this bloom for as long as I possibly can. And now I get going. So I'm going to clear out some of the growth facing right at me because I want her to grow along the fence. And also, I just can't see what's going on here, so I'm starting with growth that is smacking me in the face. And I'll get back in there and be a little more judicious about it once I can see what's really going on. What I'm doing right now is almost like weed whacking. I'm just clearing it so I can see what's happening and really have a good look at how the canes are going. One wonderful thing about roses, they're very forgiving. So if you ever thought that you've totally messed up on your pruning, probably not true. Just give it a season. It's going to send out a ton of new growth anyway, and you'll forget that you ever thought you were making a mistake. That's not to say there isn't a right way of doing it, but don't beat yourself up in your own garden. It's not good. While I'm pruning, I'm really keeping an eye out for any disease problems, any bugs, any issues at all. And this is one healthy rose. Like all roses, when you're pruning, you want to take out the really skinny growth. Like if it's skinnier than a pencil, whoops, like that piece right there, just remove it. It is too skinny to really do an awful lot of good work, unless it's a really, really young rose that you just started out. There's a lot more very big, strong, healthy canes to choose from. Just take out the really skinny growth. So because of its location and because the garden bed that it's in is only probably 14 inches wide, and because it's here at Cottage where the carts are here, I'm going to take out a lot of the growth that's going this way. So I was going to mention how you prune your roses when they're dormant. Right now, this Claire Austin is not dormant, partly because of its location. It gets the sun from first thing in the morning. It's got, you know, really the best place possible for a rose bush, so it hasn't gone into dormancy yet. If you've got rose bushes that are not in dormancy yet, you kind of have to force that dormancy. It's very good for the rose, and this is what we do with this girl every single year. You know, she needs to have the leaves stripped off. She needs to have the pruning done, train it up against the fence line, and force it into dormancy so that you get really good results the following year. This one here is showing some really, this particular cane right here is showing some great sideways lateral growth. So I'm going to prune this one and tie it so that it will grow that way. So just like any other rose, what you want to do is to prune above a bud and above a leaf that has more than 5 little leaves on it, if you see what I mean. Look at this one, 2, 4, 6, 7. This is a perfect place to do it. This bud is facing that way, so I can totally envision it growing very nicely all along the fence for me. A little bit of training, it's going to be just great. While I'm here at this little cane, I'm going to strip the foliage off it too. It comes off pretty easily just with pulling. And yeah, I'm going to go get my zip ties in a minute and do the tying, but really happy with that one. And like I said, this one is a very healthy, very vigorous rose, not showing any problems whatsoever. That's not always the case though. Sometimes you start pruning roses, you see signs of disease, then you know you need to spray or do something. I'm not much of a sprayer myself, but if a rose is really struggling, it'll teach me it needs more attention and care during the growing season. Sometimes it's not disease that you find, but where the branches were crossing, or in this case, where it was rubbing up against the trellis a little too hard, it caused some damage there. It looks like it's pretty well healed over, but at the same time, what if it wasn't? It's a really great spot for fungus or bugs to move in. I'm still going to prune it off. Don't need it. But that's what you're looking for. Access to bugs, access to funguses. Remove all opportunities for disease to move in or bugs to move in. So having removed so much of the growth, it really lets you look more carefully at just specific branches and canes. And even though I am 99% sure that this particular little cane's damage comes from cross branches or rubbing it up against the trellis, I'm still going to remove it because it doesn't look that great and I don't want to risk disease. So out it goes. All right, I am getting there. I'm going to tie this, spread out the canes a little bit so that I get what I want from this rose. But I also wanted to talk about how great it is once you've got all that other growth off it, that you can really look at it carefully and see what else might need taking off. I always find with me anyway, I do my initial pruning, I really think I'm done, and then as I walk back and forth past it over the next couple of days, I'll have another look. No doubt I will still take out a couple more of the smaller branches. But so I've got most of it gone, most of it's good, I'm ready to lay it all out. What I wanted to tell you is that it's really, really important to clean up all the debris. I'm getting there. Most of it got in the bucket, some didn't. I will clean up. And that's important because just in case there are any fungal spores or bugs hiding in among all the old foliage, you've got them gone. Now I'm really very, very confident that this is a healthy rose. All of this is going to go in my compost pile here at Cottage. If you're not confident that your rose is disease-free, you really want to get that waste off of your property. You don't want to give those fungus or bugs a chance to sneak back in and get on your roses this year. I really spray minimally. I mean, I don't spray at all at my house. We really barely do anything here at Cottage, but should there be a fungal problem, there's ways to combat it. Neem oil is good. What is even better is this copper fungicide. That really helps with all kinds of fungus. But having said that, keeping a clean, spotless, sanitized garden really goes such a long way towards making your garden, your rose garden in particular, disease-free. Highly recommend really cleaning it up. Now around the base of this particular Claire Austin, there's an ornamental grass growing. I'm sitting here wondering, should I take it out, should I not? I actually love the way it is, and it looks good when it's really growing. And I have decided I'm probably going to leave it, clean out all the little bit of rose foliage debris that's down there to make sure there's no fungal spores hiding down there and among the grass too. Plus it also kind of mulches the rose for me, keeps the roots a little cooler in the summer months, and I like the way it looks. So it gets to stay, but it is a great moment to really clean up, remove root competition from plants that you don't want competing with it, and it's a great moment to feed your rose. I recommend organic food wherever possible. Love this Rose and Flower Food by E.B. Stone. And now, while it's nice and clean and beautiful, I will feed it and give it just a little bit extra so that that grass is also fed and so that the competition is minimized. Okay, next thing, zip ties are ideal for training climbing roses. I use zip ties to space all of these guys out and train them. It's really good. You don't want to zip tie it so that it's like strangling the rose cane, but it holds it really well. And you can do that up against a wooden fence too, just by stapling a staple in and zip tying it that way. So I have it real loose. I'll snip that off afterwards. And you're not even going to see this once the foliage starts emerging. Space everything out exactly as I want it, tie it up, and this rose is going to be good to go. And there you go. I really hope that was helpful. I just have a little more cleanup to do because I want to make sure this is spotless. But yeah, I hope you really got the idea of what to do with your own climbing rose. You can see this is entirely different from the way it was when it started. It's going to grow into this beautiful, beautiful, long spreading, very happy rose. It's going to be totally covered in gorgeous white blooms before we know it. So yeah, let me know about if you have any questions, if you have any experiences of your own that you'd love to share, drop me a comment. Come have a look at it in person if you feel like it, here at Cottage Gardens, right outside the entry gate. And get outside and enjoy your garden. January is a fabulous time to prune your roses. And if today's sunshine is anything to go by, get outside on a sunny day. You're just going to feel so, so good. You don't want to leave it too long. If the sun keeps up like this, all the roses are going to start pushing new growth. And it's really important to get ahead of it with your pruning. That's what I'm doing today. All right. Find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. See you next time, and happy gardening. Bye-bye now.